really good for you. Okay, week 18 is officially over. Let's take a look at what I got done this week. The plan for Saturday was for Sauce and I to head over to a mutual friend's house and go through their storage room. They recently moved, so there were a lot of boxes that had been in storage they wanted to sort and pare down. The eventual goal is to pull all of the items we're deciding not to keep and hold a small garage sale so we don't have to go through the effort of listing every item individually. I did fail to get a proper before picture, but you can see how much we went through and how neatly everything packed away when we were done. As a bonus, I also sold the medicine cabinet that morning, managed to finish the crochet basket from the previous week's crochet lesson, and found an electronics recycling center nearby, which is something that had been on my mind for a while, but that hadn't even made it onto a to-do list. Sunday, I mostly worked. This was another 6-day work week for me, but after I came home, I got almost immediately started on some video editing. I had some other plans as well, making progress on my filing cabinet or even tackling one of the closets with Sauce, but I was, fortunately or unfortunately, distracted by my cat and dragged into the doom scroll. In the end, I stayed up way too late. I went to bed around 4 a.m., which is a little rough since I usually get up for work somewhere between 4:30 and 5 a.m. After work, my evening was still pretty productive. Sauce and I had a scheduled game night with our friend during which we ended up watching a movie called The Substance, while I started prepping some flashcards for Friday's Japanese lesson. It ended up being a really interesting movie. Of course, I think the friend who recommended it usually has good taste, but it's a movie that really makes you think. However, I certainly wouldn't recommend it to anyone who is sensitive to body horror. Tuesday was my big meal prep day. My roommate was a rock star and helped me film a bunch while I was cooking, which allowed me to get some extra content for the day. The goal was to make a flexible food option. Put it in a burrito, a taquito, over nachos, as a dip for a quesadilla. I didn't follow a recipe or anything, but the hope was to have something that was almost foolproof to put together. Meat, onion, garlic, jalapeno, tomato, and cheese. Now, I will admit, I think my ratios were a little off. Onion is not my favorite vegetable, and while I have learned to like it more over time, the next time I make this recipe I will probably use half an onion per pound of ground beef, and I might also go for a slightly smaller jalapeno. The spice did mellow out and create a really nice flavor later in the week, but the spice was a little intense for its intended purpose in the beginning. I did also end up adding black beans, avocado, and occasionally a little salsa when using it as a dip, which I felt helped out with the balance of flavors in my experimental mixture. Oh, also, don't worry about wasting the tomato skins. They make a lovely snack for peckish roommates. The day after, I decided to take a mental health day. After my very short night, Sunday, and 2 very long days, Monday and Tuesday, I needed to recharge a little. I picked up some steak from the store and treated myself with some macaroni and cheese. After that, my only goal for the day was to spend some time with Aki and go to bed early. The next day, I succeeded in getting a therapeutic targeted massage treatment. This was a very generous gift from one of the people that I work with. Once home, because we were nearing the end of the month, I took some time to sit down and sort out our bills and properly record any important financial information. The last day, Friday, was highly productive. After Sauce and I got off work, we sat down to do our Japanese lesson, which was a ton of fun. We were supposed to have a third participant, but he unfortunately wasn't able to join us this week. Doing these lessons has been highly beneficial for me. I lost a lot of what I learned in college simply because I wasn't using Japanese regularly, and going back over the basics has really helped recover some of that lost knowledge. Now, I still won't claim that I'm good at it, but I'm making good progress, which is really all I want. When I was winding down for the day, I took another look at my weekly to-do list and realized that while I had managed to do lots of things this week, there were a few items that I had completely forgotten about. So, with only a few hours left in my quote-unquote week, I just picked one and got started. In the end, I managed to cross off 2. Sauce and I, however, did not manage to make it to the closets this week, but we are determined to get it done in February. We have 1 more day to make it happen. In the end, The only things I didn't manage to mark off this week were the filing cabinet and the wall decor, neither of which I would consider urgent and I will just continue to work on in the coming weeks. I also managed to complete 3 additional tasks, so I think, in the end, I still accomplished more this week than I had originally planned. My list for the next week will be particularly light. I have a big task to do. I've agreed to pet sit for a friend of mine who's attending a convention starting on Wednesday, so my evening will be mostly filled with my responsibilities to that end. Other than the closet cleaning, I hope to complete on the 28th. My only main goal is to learn some more about video and audio editing and the software I've been using and hope to use. This probably doesn't surprise you, but I've never done video editing like this. I know practically nothing. So far, in the last 3 weeks, I've tried to use 3 different editing softwares, run into storage problems, file transfer problems, file compatibility problems, learned about different file types and file conversions, some of the differences between iOS and Windows softwares and what they each handle, and I haven't had a lot of time to focus on fleshing out that knowledge in any meaningful way, so I'm hoping to do that this week while I won't be physically home for a good portion of the day. That way, I can start to improve the quality of my videos, or, at least to start, reduce the amount of time it takes me to post after the week officially ends. And while the plans for this week are minimal, the plans for March are extensive. Sauce and I are hoping to get a lot of apartment tasks taken care of in March, so that we can focus on spending more time with friends and going to events when the weather starts to get nicer. I honestly can't believe February is almost over. Only 4 months until my official move date. We're almost a third of the way done with the areas we want to sort through, we managed to sell some of the furniture, and the apartment is slowly beginning to return to its original state. Things are a mess, and I expect they will continue to be a mess for the foreseeable future. However, this is a really good head start, and honestly what amounts to a couple of weeks. And I'm really excited to see what we can accomplish in twice that time. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week. If you choose to stick around for the bloopers, I apologize in advance for the audio. I don't know how to fix it yet.
Oh no, we have trash in bins. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh god. Come on, Richie. Come on, Richie. It's just an onion. Undress it, undress it. Strip, 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 strip. It's off.
You are so cute. You are so cute. But look at this. Look at this. How am I supposed to get any work done when all she wants to do is walk back and forth over my desk? Look at my hair. Look at what you're doing to me. She made me rub my face all over her, and she's still hasn't had enough. Still has not had enough. Look at this baby. That. So having little moments like that is going to be great, which is why I said just feel free to continue recording. Because all of these
Oh, you're still going, aren't you? Where's